Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. The New York Post. This is an opinion piece. Just make that clear. Unlike CNN, MSNBC say that it's news and it's really opinion piece. This is an opinion written by Michael Goodwin from the New York Post. He interviewed Donald Trump down in Mar-a-Lago. Trump talks about Putin mocking Merkel and more at Mar-a-Lago. Let's read on. This is a very interesting interview with President Trump. Palm Beach, Florida. It was President's Day and Donald Trump looked especially relaxed, wearing a white golf shirt emblazoned with a presidential seal and a bright red MAGA hat with 45 on both sides. He was talkative without being combative. With a late afternoon light beginning to dim over at Mar-a-Lago, we spent 90 minutes in the ornate living room discussing his presidency, the state of the nation, and his future. Naturally, Trump's successor took a rhetorical beating, but even harsh barbs were delivered in matter-of-fact tone. Yeah, I mean, he seems a lot more relaxed. He lost a lot of weight, it looks like. He's never looked better since he decided to run for president in 2016. Physically, I think he's fine. His mind is fine now. People might not like the policies he has, but that's a different issue entirely. A softball opener. Did he think Joe Biden's presidency could be as bad as it is? Well, yeah, it's kind of a leading question, but yeah, was met with a pause. And then this, if you took the worst 5 presidents together, it would not equal to what's happening to this country. That's a pretty bold statement, and it might be true. After ticking off a litany of America woes, from the open border to inflation to mounting energy prices, Trump added, "I never thought anything like this could happen to us." Now, there's some old Oprah. When he was younger, he was talking about how Japan's screwing us over and how we should look out for ourselves first. Now what they call nationalism, America first. Then it switched over to China screwing us. Oprah Winfrey said, "This is presidential talk. Would you run for president?" And he said, "I would only run for president if I thought things were going so bad for the United States that I had no choice." That's a damn good answer. He remains especially troubled by the deadly and chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Yeah, that's a black mark that'll never go away. Can you imagine taking a military out first and giving him that big, beautiful Bagram Air Base? I like he always does that. Big, beautiful. That's just an hour from China. Yeah, it is. And that should have been the last thing to go. They should have had just regular convoys from the airport they had near Kabul to the airport just north of there. Kept the military in. You interfere with all convoys as we're evacuating people, Americans and Afghans that want to come. We will scorch earth wherever you're at. We'll pay back 20 times for every one person you kill. And they would have stopped. They would have let them go and get them out. But instead, it was the cluster that it was, and 13 of our service members unfortunately died. And plus, over 100 Afghan civilians. That's nothing neither. It was the single biggest embarrassment in our history. I can't think of a bigger one, actually. Pearl Harbor was a sneak attack. That's a little bit different. But we had all the time in the world. I don't want to hear Trump didn't set it up. Joe Biden was sworn in on January 20th. From that moment on, he was commander-in-chief. All of February, March, April, May, June, July, and half of August. We're looking at almost 7 months. And that's the best he can come up with? I don't buy it. Does he think Biden will finish the term? I don't know, he said, but we're being systematically destroyed. That's true. We're no longer feared, respected, or even liked. I'll take respect over liked all day. As we talked, the news was breaking about Vladimir Putin's declaration of independence for 2 Ukrainian provinces. Trump was flabbergasted by the audacity, but not surprised. This was before the invasion. "I got along great with Putin," he said. "I like him. I respect him. He's doing his thing, but our people aren't doing theirs." Just because you get along with somebody and respect them does not mean you agree with them. There's a lot of people I respect who 99% of what they believe in, I don't. Eager to draw a contrast with Biden, he told 2 stories relevant to the current crisis. Now, these 2 stories are absolutely Trump. I believe them to be true. It's just very much like Donald Trump. Both involved his fight with NATO members that were not paying their agreed-upon share of common defense, especially Germany. Now, Trump called on the fact that we were paying billions and billions and billions of dollars to NATO to help support NATO military and their armed forces, equipment, everything that you need. And Trump said, wait a minute. You guys agree to have a certain percent of your GDP go towards NATO. And the biggest offender was Germany, which is by far the richest country in NATO. He said, this is BS. You guys start paying your fair share. The American taxpayer shouldn't have to pay for your defense. We made agreements when we formed NATO, and you're reneging on them. Eager to draw a contrast to Biden, he told two stories relevant to the current crisis. Both involved NATO members. They were not paying the agreed amount share of defense, especially Germany. And this is great. This is great. This is one of my favorite stories. Maybe this is my favorite Trump story. I sent her a white flag. He said, a former Chancellor Angela Merkel. She said, what is this? I said, it's a flag of surrender so you don't have to go out and buy a new one. But you know what? I believe it. I believe it. I really and truly do. He also recounted an exchange in a Brussels meeting of the 28 NATO members, countries that were pushing for more payments while he was. Leading the Austrian leader to ask whether the United States would still defend those countries against a Russian attack if they didn't pay up. No, Trump said as he answered, we will not defend you. We can't draw billions of dollars. I bet you a good 25% of our national debt is defending other people that they're either too cowardly or too cheap to defend themselves. The chumps in the United States will do it. And Trump said, no more screwing America. And since then, they've pwned up tens of billions of dollars into NATO and made them way better and way stronger than they were before Trump was president when he first got sworn in. They're a much better fighting force now with modern equipment, software, logistics, all the things that you need for defense and war. His answer led to a public uproar that Trump was reneging on the alliance Article 5 provision, under which an attack on one member is considered an attack on all. What amounted to a deal. Trump later insisted he was not reneging, and NATO countries ponied up more cash, now total several $100 billion. Several hundred. Still eyeing his experience in the current fecklessness against Russia, he said NATO is a paper tiger. These are other stories making the rounds too, and even more provocative. At once noting that Putin seized land from Georgia when Bush was president and seized Crimea when Obama was president, he warned Putin not to grab land on his watch. If you move against Ukraine while on, President Trump is said to have told the Russian leader, I will hit Moscow. He probably scoffed, Putin that is, but I'll bet you in the back of his mind he goes, this crazy son of a might actually do it. Putin would probably scoff, no way, leading Trump to say all those beautiful golden turrets will be blown up. A similar story involves President Xi. It was during his visit to Mar-a-Lago in 2017 when Trump famously interrupted their chocolate cake dessert to declare the order U.S. military to fire 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles at a Syrian air base because they were using chemical weapons against civilians. During that same visit, Trump reportedly told Xi that any military move against Taiwan would be met with an attack on Beijing. Xi, like Putin, is said to have been stunned. Though it is possible neither man believed Trump was serious, but while it is also possible that both accounts are exaggerated, it is a fact that neither man made moves Trump is said to have warned against. I got along best with the tougher ones, he said. And I'll go through every single article here. They confirmed a lot of federal judges, 3 Supreme Court nominees, how he saved McConnell's behind and McConnell turned on him. It's just amazing to me. McConnell called the January 6th a failed insurrection, which is a lie. And then they go on and on about how he talked about the election. I have to be careful here because this is YouTube. And there was a gentleman that was supposedly friends with Trump. He wouldn't give his name that he talked to that said he would vote for Trump again except for his post-election conduct. And he went on and on about that. That's the thing. He did not want the election to be overturned. That's not true. He just wanted the electoral certification to be delayed to let the states that were in question, at least in some people's minds, let their legislatures decide on which they were going to send the electoral votes as it was in the beginning, or say we're not sure if anybody gets any electoral votes. That's perfectly legal to do. And they said he'll start World War III, but look what happened. Look what happened. He also started historic Abraham Accords under his watch, which saw Israeli normalized relations with 4 Muslim nations. Any other president would have gotten the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize. Ask anybody that supports Obama what he got it for. And they all go, And then he just sums it up. All Trump's flaws and achievements will probably get another airing in the next presidential election with rallies, fundraising, and endorsements. He's laying the foundation for another White House run. Has he made a final decision? In my own mind, I have, he said. After the midterms, I'll announce something, which we all knew. He was going to do it after the midterm, probably the first of the year after the new Congress is sworn in. And whether you hate Trump, love him, or somewhere in the middle, All those things are true. Now you're saying, well, John, Trump set up all this stuff so it would fail for Biden. Why would he set himself up? Because he thought he was going to win. Makes zero sense. Well, that's a lie. And then the January 6th insurrection was a thing that gave Putin a green light. You're an idiot. What gave Putin a green light was the gigantic cluster that was the Afghan withdrawal and other things as well. We're worried about trans rights in the military, and meanwhile, China and Russia are building up their military to sweep across any lands they want to. We look like fools. We look like just a bunch of teenage girls arguing with each other. It's ridiculous. Whether you love Trump or hate him, he was right. He was right about a lot of things, and he was wrong about some. But the important things, he was right. And nobody hates a smart ass, especially when they're right. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.